everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time doing another Halloween film review, and this one is on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, as you know, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was an independent slasher film that was directed and written by Frank Waterfield, who is pretty much doing his own darker take on other properties like Teletubbies, Bambi, also Peter Pan, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Fall. And I think the best I can say about him being a sort of independent filmmaker is that he's got a good idea, but at the same time it does fall victim to the whole horror tropes. So we all know who Winnie the Pooh is. He was pretty much based on the popular book Winnie the Pooh back in 1926, written by A. Myron and E.H. Shepard. And I know eventually, we would eventually get a horror film version of Winnie the Pooh. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Christopher Robin, now an adult, and pretty much returns to his old childhood place, the 100-Acre Woods, with his fiancée Mary. We see how Christopher Robin wants to believe that everything will go back to what it was. We kind of see how he still thinks his friends are going to be fine on their own. And we see how to Christopher Robin and his fiancée Mary, seeing that their friends Pooh as well as Piglet have become monstrosity versions of themselves, and due to sort of Christopher Robin not being around to feed them, and with the arrival of winter, had to kind of resort to killing and eating with cannibalism, and developed a hatred for humanity. And throughout the film, we do see how Christopher Robin tries to talk some sense into Pooh and help him to remind him the person he once was, despite it being a losing battle. And we do kind of see how, a university student, Maria, and their friends decide to rent a sort of cabin in the 100-Acre Woods. And I think the problem is, I think Mary, Jessica, Alice, Zoe, and Laura are just thrown in there to kind of be the expendable characters. I think had the film just focused on Christopher Robin wanting to kind of talk to sense to Pooh and having it be a struggle of trying to bring back his old friend back to what he was, this would have added more chemistry. It just feels like they needed to throw in the female in refrigerator characters. And I think the problem is Maria and her friends don't really feel interesting. But I also do give the film credit that it is creative with the horror. It knows how to show what can happen if you abandon a friend or a person and leaving them to feel hurt and betrayed and becoming a shell of their former self. And I give the film credit that it's not trying to rely too heavily on the gore and not overdoing it, but it knows when to be a little creative. So I do feel like, Frank might have took some inspiration from Michael Myers, and I think the suits for Pooh as well as Piglet do work. And I kind of like the idea that they had to adapt into a more human-esque form, and them kind of being shells of their former selves and more monstrosities. And it also does show you that, because of what they had to go through, they had to resort to eating human flesh, and it shows that they are creative with how they take down their victims. So implying that, other people did suffer, and if you've watched the opening credits, you did see how they had to kind of resort to kidnapping and murdering other people. But I think for the most part, I just feel like having it in a cabin in the woods storyline is okay, but it's just an outdated thing that I think's been done to death. But I think the rest of the film is okay, but it's not really going massively big. I know there is going to be a sequel and a shared universe that are in development, and I know that, with the sequel that they've got in mind, I know that, Pooh and Piglet are going to have new designs, as well as the other Winnie the Pooh characters, Owl and Tigger, are going to appear. So it makes me wonder how they're going to do the other sort of properties, like Bambi and Peter Pan. And I'm not actually looking forward to seeing what else they can do with a dark universe, because we've had a darker take on kids' media before, like Pokemon Adventures, Afterlife with Archie, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and the final season of Samurai Jack. I think you can go darker with your seasons, and I think, well, Digimon also had season 3 that went darker. I would like to see what else they can do for a sort of darker take on other kids' media, or what other stuff they can do with Winnie the Pooh. But I think the film still deserves thumbs in the middle. It's an okay idea, but really, it just feels like it's been done to death dozens of times. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.